From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2242, these are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. They looked like little party balloons, but they weren't. It was a nationwide mid-altitude ham radio balloon launch, and it was festive, even if it wasn't a big party.
Fans of amateur radio balloons are reliving the moments of the October 9th launch of 11 mid-altitude balloons as they floated up and began their journey from various launch sites across the United States. As they headed east to begin their 2-week trip around the globe, the event was live-streamed on Facebook by the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum. Each helium-filled Mylar balloon is equipped with APRS on both 144.39 MHz and 144.34 MHz and traveling at about 20,000 feet above the Earth. Students, teachers, and other balloon fans are tracking the balloons via amateur radio and looking online for updates on their locations by visiting aprsdirect.com. The balloons were launched by students and their teachers in Washington, D.C., Alaska, Virginia, Oklahoma, Utah, Minnesota, and Kansas. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jack Parker, W8ISH.
There have been many famous musicians who are hams, Chet Atkins and our own Joe Walsh, just to name a couple. Although he wasn't a ham, Newsline anchor Paul Brown, WD9GCO, has details on how ham radio is paying tribute to another guitar hero who recently passed away.
Rock legend Eddie Van Halen, who died earlier this month, was the pride of the Netherlands, where the guitarist was born 65 years ago. Now, as his distinctive sounds resonate for his fans listening to commercial stations around the world, one additional station joins them and on the amateur radio frequencies in paying tribute. Special event station PA 5150 EVH will be on the air from October 28th until January 31st of 2021, a few days past the musician's birthday on January 26th. The special event is being activated by Frank, PF1SCT, a civil engineer who is also a guitarist himself and, needless to say, a Van Halen fan. A limited number of QSL cards are available for contacts, and those making successful contacts should QSL to Frank's call sign by the Bureau only.
There are plans for hams to be part of a satellite mission that began as a project in Hawaii.
The Hawaii Spaceflight Laboratory has plans to collaborate with amateur radio operators to communicate with its Neutron 1 satellite to send and receive messages after the satellite is released in November from the International Space Station. Neutron 1 is carrying an FM repeater with a downlink on 435.300 MHz and an uplink on 145.84 MHz. It is expected to be in space for about 1 year. The Neutron 1 was launched aboard an NG-14 rocket from Virginia on Friday, October 2nd, as part of a resupply mission to the ISS. It is a project involving students, volunteers, faculty, and staff at the University of Hawaii. Its mission is to measure neutrons in space and radiation coming from the sun. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Neil Rapp, WB9VPG.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at arnewsline.org. With Jack Parker, W8ISH, Paul Brown, WD9GCO, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe. I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.